Hi there folks, welcome to another clip here on my YouTube channel. Before we get started with the chart technical part, this time let's talk about Bitcoin. I simply want to draw your attention to that little red button down here at the YouTube platform. It's just a small action for you guys. Have a click and you'll be a member of this channel. Very much appreciated. On top of that, very much appreciated as well if you leave me some thumbs up for this clip. Alright guys. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin, at the recent rally of that Bitcoin versus the US dollar. And we do that with a chart technical picture, and we will have a look at that one right now. Just have a look at the data. The data is from Paxos, which is a New York trust. And just in case you want to know if you place orders where the traders workstation, so the TWS, you're not trading with interactive brokers and that kind. You're not placing that crypto trade at the spot via interactive brokers. You're placing it with Paxos. So just for letting you know. All right, let's have a look at the chart technical part from the Fibonacci retracements and the analysis. And you'll see there's a high. So the record high is from 14th of April 2021, and that one is at $64,910 US. And after that crash move in direction to the low is from the 21st of June, which is at 28,822.75. So these two levels are possibly, it's possible to combine them for another bigger time frame Fibonacci analysis as well. I did that with a shorter time frame here from that kind of a data point, which is from the 6th of September, from the high of 52,932, that's 75, and going down to that correction low here from the 21st of September, and going down to 602. These two levels combined, and the platform gives you the usual retracement areas to the downside, of course, and of course to the upside as well. And as you already know from my kind of analysis, a couple of Fibonacci retracements and projection levels to the upside here on top of that. So you see, besides that record high, which is around that black horizontal line here, there is a 200. And there is a 176.4 Fibonacci retracement level and a 161.8 Fibonacci projection level, which is already tested here. And of course, from the logics, it's of course a possible retest of the record high, and just to test that one, that marker, and shy above that, you possibly test the 200 marker right here, which is above 66K already. So these usual arrows I just put on that kind of a technical picture here, just to give you a little bit of a hint of a visualization where a couple of tests, possible tests to the upside are, and where a couple of tests to the downside could occur. So these kind of question marks simply tell you, okay, this is a possible reaction to the upside here and to the downside. Because nobody out there has a glass bowl, nothing like that, sadly. It's just a theory and just to visualize a couple of movements. So after that kind of a quite heavy move to the upside, I mean, we are speaking about more than 20K upside move from the end of September until now. And as you can see, there is a relative strength index down here, and this kind of relative strength index on a daily basis is telling you that this kind of a Bitcoin versus the US dollar is already in overbought territories. So in case you just want to know the Saturday, Sunday markers, we are around 77, above 77 from the RSI. So it's definitely in an overbought territory on a daily basis. All right, let's face some facts from the other parts, from the other side. Besides the technical analysis, we are just moving in direction to that fundamental part right now. All right, folks, let's have a start with that fundamental part. Information ahead of that, just not regarding something like a disclaimer, but it's very important to say that one as well here again and again. Before you start investing in cryptocurrencies and for example in Bitcoin, like the one we are talking about here, you should possibly search some help from a legal advisor, financial advisor, the persons you trust, and do not trade and do not feel to be lured into something just by that clip. It's just an information about the current situation about the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. All right, check out that move from the end of September in direction of the current situation here with the BTC versus US dollar. So you check out the spot trading and you see that we are hovering around and above that 60K marker, and we did a really huge jump from that end of September move until right now. It's more than 20K. So it's really a rocket. What happened when you simply check out the data from the last days? What happened regarding Bitcoin? What happened regarding cryptocurrencies? Of course, there is a news cocktail around all these kind of inflation data about this kind of political stuff from Washington and even from the ECB and other central banks. And inflation is a big topic right now. But on top of that, it's kind of a news cocktail from the crypto scene and from the Bitcoin scene as well. Check out some data about the SEC. So recently, the Securities Exchange Commission published a couple of stories around another product. They are simply not yet ready to give a go for a Bitcoin ETF, but right now, they simply gave it a go for Bitcoin related ETF. So companies dealing with Bitcoin, companies in the crypto scene and in the Bitcoin scene are in that kind of new ETF. And this one is from Volt. So if you like to do some research, some due diligence yourself, you'll be checking that at the websites of Volt, for example. And on top of that, do some research and check the website of the Securities Exchange Commission directly, if you like. On top of that, things like that happen, and people scratching their heads and possibly think the more regulation, the more Bitcoin is not something like anonymous anymore. And that is the case because I'm into the crypto scene and into Bitcoin. Well, one thing for sure, if you want the Bitcoin to be a more and more a thing for the future, it needs more regulation. Without regulation, no big deal, no big companies and no big financial institutions will jump into that. That's the case, and that is why it got more and more regulated in the last weeks and months back. You check data as well, you will find out a lot of stories about the Bitcoin regulation, and not only the Bitcoin regulation, the cryptocurrency regulations itself. And it simply makes sense, because when you want big partners to jump in, like BlackRock, like Goldman Sachs, like whatever the big institution names are, and you want big companies to survive with that kind of Bitcoin investments, regarding PayPal, regarding Visa, MasterCard stuff, whatever the companies are into that right now, it's very important to keep up with that regulation topic and to strengthen it further down the road. So this is something not very negative for the Bitcoin in the long run. It should be seen positive, just for the reason because the more regulation, the more regulated that kind of stuff is, the more big institutions will jump on board, and the rally is going to step further up the road. Just one of these kind of stories like these moves are possibly explainable. All right. In the long run, have a look at a couple of other cryptocurrencies, a lot of other systems out there. There is still no guarantee that Bitcoin will survive just from the technical aspects. Huge energy usage. It's in comparison to other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum or even Polkadot and other stuff, it's not fast enough anymore. And regarding data and blockchain technology, which is behind that, and this is the most important thing, which will survive, I'm sure, is the smart contract stuff. And the more you're dealing and digging yourself into that topic, you will find out that it might be some other cryptocurrencies as well out there. So just something like waving, hey, it's not only Bitcoin out there. Maybe have a look at a couple of other cryptocurrencies as well, if you are interested in that kind of a field, in that area. And just imagine that it is still some kind of a race between all these kind of dozens of cryptocurrencies to be the one which will be used massively out there. So it's not a 100% secure that Bitcoin will be that. On top of that, maybe it's something you should read about on top, like stable coins, like all these discussions from digital currencies from central banks they are up to. The Chinese central bank, the People's Bank of China, is quite ready with that stuff and already testing that, field studies in big cities like Shenzhen and others, or Shenzhen, or however you pronounce that correct. And check out the stablecoin projects from the US dollar and from the Federal Reserve, and as well the digital projects for digital currencies from ECB, Bank of England, Swiss National Bank, and stuff like that. So there's a big competition regarding Bitcoin, regarding all the cryptocurrencies and all that stuff together. If you are a pro in cryptos, of course, this clip is nothing new for you. If you are some person interested in cryptocurrencies, in Bitcoin and stuff like that, you might find some first points where you could possibly have a setup for research. So that's simply the point. All right, guys. Hopefully I simply made you a little bit more, let's say, thirsty to get some new research news about Bitcoin and about cryptocurrencies, regarding cryptocurrencies. If not, if this is nothing for you, well, you don't have to jump on every kind of a horse out there. You can still stick to typical investment stuff like stocks, bonds, commodities, and whatsoever. So if you like to read more about that, if you like to inform yourself more about that, you will find data about cryptocurrencies even at the CFTC, at the SEC, a lot of regulation stuff, very, very interesting. And on top of that, if you like to know more about that kind of a market, well, give it a try with a website from a big cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase. Coinbase has a lot of information, so possibly you will find a lot there as well. All right, guys, it's already Sunday. Hopefully you will have a perfect start into the new week with a couple of or dozens of prosperous trades to come. And hopefully let's see the next time here at that channel. And please, again, don't forget to leave some thumbs up for me here. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Bye.